Positive energy all the time. Okay, rep your city. If you want to get a shout out, rep your city. Represent your city. Not your state, your city. You know, I'm representing, everybody on Facebook know I'm representing Chi-Town. Everybody over on Twitch know I'm representing the Windy City. Everybody on Kick know I'm representing Chirac. And everybody on YouTube know I'm representing Chicago, Illinois, the Windy City. And you know how we do in the Windy City. Let me start from the top and see who's representing. We got New Orleans in the building. We got Greensboro in the house. Come on in, rep your city, rep your city. A lot of crazy stuff going on. A lot of crazy stuff going on. But we do have some good news about gun rights for felons, especially if you're a felon and you don't have a criminal background in violence. Right? So if you don't have a violent background, it shouldn't be too long. Some people say a couple of weeks, and you will be able to restore your gun rights for like $25, if I'm not mistaken. They're expected 1 million people to do it immediately. I know I will be on it 20 minutes after it happens. You understand? I'm really looking forward to getting my gun rights back. They never should have took them in the first place for a lot of little nonsense cases that really I shouldn't even had those cases. They just stick any type of cases on you just to make money in the justice system. The lawyers make money, the district attorney makes money, state's attorney makes money, the judge is making money, the guards, everybody's making money except the people they robbing in their courtrooms. Although they do need laws, some people do actually go crazy to break the laws, but they're going to have to focus on the real serious cases and stop prosecuting nonsense. Stop prosecuting nonsense and letting serious crimes walk because you've got the jails full of, man, you should see it, man. They're arresting people on their way to work, people in the county jail getting processed in a McDonald's outfit and they work clothes on their way to work. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So y'all come on in, rep your city. What city you representing? You know how we do. You want a shout out? You got to shout out your city. Give some love to the cities. That's how I'm doing it. Give some love to the cities. Let's not be selfish. Give some love to your city. I don't mind shouting you out, but if you don't want to shout out your city, I don't want to shout out you. You gotta represent your city. You know what I'm saying? We got North Miami Beach in the building. The beautiful April's in the building. Hey now, cutie. We got some pretty ladies over here. You brothers better step your game up and holler at these beautiful ladies. I don't know what y'all on. All these beautiful ladies. So come on in. I know it's late if you're on the East Coast. I know on the West Coast, you're probably getting ready to go to bed too. If you're watching it on Saturday or on Friday later, that's good. You caught the replay. That's good. You're watching it after the fact of the matter, as long as you're watching it. I'm trying to get my schedule together so I can do more lives next week. But with this exercising I'm doing, and I got to eat more to gain muscle, and I got to adjust. I'm doing a lot of sleeping. A lot. My daughter called me. I called her back 5 hours later. She said, Dad, what you been doing? I said, I just woke up. She said, hecky no. She said, you lied. I'm like, I ain't kidding. These exercises is rough. And more food and exercises. Whoa. Y'all need to get your help together, though. And follow me at Vegan Intel. I moved all my conversations to Vegan Intel because a lot of people over here wasn't interested in health. So, I can't force them. You know what I mean? So I moved my conversations to Vegan Intel. Come on over to Vegan Intel and support the channel. Trying to get people to eat better and take care of themselves. So I had to give it its own space in order to push health and better eating. And some people don't want to hear that, and that's understandable. That's understandable. I get it. I get it. But we pushing it hard. Got some people over there that specifically got some health issues. So it's a wonderful feeling to be helping them get through their hard times, their surgeries or whatever they're going through, get them on the right page. Everybody's trying to stay alive, but they don't want to eat right. Well, it's not so much. It's not so much that, G-Rod. I'm. It's my schedule. I'm getting the same rest everybody else get, but I'm on a different work shift. So it's like anybody works at a hospital or factory. You got the night shift, 11:30 to 7 in the morning. I'm on that shift sometime from 1:30 to 9:30 in the morning. So it's the same sleep, but it's on a different schedule, and everybody's up in the day. And so it's the same amount of time, but just at a different schedule. And so I'm really, my sleep. Let's say you want to get 8 hours sleep. Well, me, I might get up at 4 in the evening from getting up early the day before. I might go live by 6, but I'm liable to go live until 6 the next day or 4 the next day. So I'm liable to go live for 20. I'm liable to be up for 20 hours. Seriously. So then being up for 20 hours, then I get some rest, but I got to do my exercise schedule and I got to eat more. So it's a lot going on. There's a lot of hours that I catch up on that rest, but then I'm adjusting to this eating and this exercise. And the eating and the exercising is something that I got to adjust to, because you don't really it's not the normal sleep. It's a muscle. The muscles are rejuvenating. So it's a different type of sleep. Regular sleep, I can schedule and get up. I can say I'm gonna lay down 3 hours and get up. I can say I'm gonna lay, but with the exercise sleep, it's really not like you as a person sleep. Your muscles are asleep. It's a whole different type of sleep. How am I able to chill and not go to work? I work for myself. I work for myself. I just don't talk about my work, but I work. I have a lot of companies. I have a lot of companies. I just, you know what I'm saying? I don't talk about it. But I work real hard. That's why I'll be up 20 hours, because I got to do lives and I got to take care of my business. So I work. I've been working for myself since 1980, 81. So I've been working for myself since probably 1981. Nobody would hire me with dreadlocks. So when I started growing my dreadlocks in 1978, I started running into some situations. You know, I started running into some situations. So I had to work for myself. If you have unfair hiring practices and you have unfair dress codes, and you stand up for your rights as long as you could do your job, but there's a bunch of people that's willing to tap dance, then you're going to lose. And we live in a society where people are going to tap dance. So those of us that like to stand up, we always going to take the L, because people are going to tap dance. They're going to tap dance for the job. The men are going to definitely tap dance for the women. So if the women, whatever the women like, the men will do it. They'll do anything to get a woman. They don't make the woman accept them. They try to make themselves acceptable to the woman. Basically, men of today. The men act like the women, and the women act like the women are dominant and decide everything. And the men do anything for a woman. And what happened, we started growing dreadlocks, so we couldn't get no women, because we had all these little naps on our head. But then when our dreadlocks got down our back, we had all the women, because the women thought we was ugly ducklings. And later they found out we was black swans. I mean, it is what it is. When you're doing business, business first. Cars, homes, all that stuff is second. You don't care nothing about a home. You don't care nothing about a car. You're not trying to do the middle. You're trying to get rich. You're trying to skip over all of that. They can have that. You ain't trying to. You ain't trying to be no slave until retirement. You get a gold watch. You've been going to this job all them years in your life. Talking about you successful. You got a house but you never at home. You got a car that's always parked at the job parking lot. You know what I'm saying? You got a nice car, and guess where it's parked at mostly? At the job. The car is at the job. Then you have to wait for your days to enjoy, to do what you got to do. You on somebody else's schedule. You got to go to bed like a little baby. You know what I'm saying? You got no freedom. And you can only make the money they pay you. But when you work for yourself, you can make as much money as your business will allow. For me, it's more to it than that because I'm doing my own business and I got my own morals. I got my own standards. And it's just certain things I'm just not going to do for no money. You know, I'm just not going to do all that. But tonight we're talking about gun rights. You know, it's cool to buy a nice car, but I follow European males when it comes to money, and they buy pickup trucks and vans. So when you go in white American communities, you will see lots of pickup trucks and vans. You'll see Jameson Heating and Cooling, and you'll see Henderson's Plumbing, and if you drive down the freeway in Chicago at rush hour, you'll just see a whole bunch of vans and pickup trucks with company names on it. And then you see the box trucks and the big rigs. We'll let some more people come in. So I remember one day I used to be hustling. And I had a customer that lived over near Midlothian. So you got Harvey, Illinois, and you got the freeway right there. But when you go down on your way to the city of Chicago, get to the freeway, instead of getting on the freeway, make a left, and you go over in the white community on the other side of the freeway. And I knew a black a young lady that lived over there. And she lived in an apartment complex, but it was at the end of like 3 blocks. So I'd have to turn and drive down 1 block, 2 block, then the 3rd block, then the end was apartment buildings. And one day, I guess my senses was up. So when I turned, I started driving, and I see pickup truck plumbing, pickup truck heating and cooling, van. You know, sometimes your senses is up. And I seen all these white dudes living in these nice homes, and they all had vans and pickup trucks. Not all of them, but I mean, like every block, it's like 4 or 5 of them, which is a lot. So every block, I'm like, oh. So I paid attention. And like once you pay attention once, then your spidey senses is up. So once I seen that, now every time I'm on the Dan Ryan, the Kennedy, I'm on the freeway, I'm seeing all of these white dudes with all of these trucks. A lot of them. If you think I'm lying, when you get on the expressway in your community, in the day especially, from 9 in the morning to 5 or 6 at night, just look at every pickup truck and van. When you go by these big old businesses, right, you're going to see vans. Right? When you go by the carpet place, you're going to see vans. When you go by the heating and cooling place, you're going to see vans. When you go by all these stores, you're going to see vans and trucks. Business owners. You know what I'm saying? Most business owners, you're going to see vans and trucks unless they're doing like insurance or something like that. But if you think about all the companies, right? All the way up to the big grocery stores. What do you see at the big grocery store? You see big rigs and box trucks. That's who's making all the money. When you go and you see the Hispanics cutting the grasses, making all that money with lawn services, what they driving? Pickup trucks. When you call to get your house painted, what they pull up in? When you call to get your roof done, what they pull up in? If your basement flood, what they pull up in? When you need a new fence, what they pull up in? Who really making all the money and working their hours, and they the boss? They answer to themselves. And then they have some employees that answer to them, but there's a lot of small companies that make a lot of money. So I've seen that. I said, okay, I see. So that's where the money's at. But jobs are cool. I might talk about that tomorrow, but your job, if you got a job, it shouldn't be a job. It should be a fundraiser. And, you know, the black man got to stop going to a job and making that job pay for his house, making that job pay his. The black man need to go to the job, save his money, and invest that money in a business and let the job support the business and let the business buy the houses and stuff. Instead of just straight from the job, straight to somebody else. Get your money, give it to somebody else. Money grows, you got to send it through steps. You got to get your money, put your money here, get the money from that and put it there. So, okay, you get $5,000 this month, you run it through here, you turn the 5 into 7. If you don't do nothing but make 2, at least you just didn't give the 5 away. You take the 5, you might got a small business. Maybe your wife got a small business. You take the 5, you put $1,000 over here. Now you got 4. That $1,000 makes 3. Now you got 7. Then you pay your bills. But that money got to flip. And that's the key to money. How many times can you flip it? Before you just take it from the system, give it back to the system. Take it from the system, give it back to the system. Take it from the system, give it back to the system. You just and you going to work, and every job you got, you working for investors, you working for businessmen. If you work at a nursing home, You're working for businessmen. I go in these places and I be seeing the owners that buy these nursing homes, the owners that own these hospitals and stuff. People own their stuff. Like I had a friend, and we're going to get to the conversation, but you know how we do. I had a friend, and she was a nurse. And at one time, she worked for an agency. And the agency was getting her jobs and sending her to do the jobs. And then they get paid and she get paid. So I kept saying, why you don't start an agency? She wouldn't listen. Nurses, if you a nurse, why you don't start an agency? You start an agency, then you be the nurse. So let's say it's a job that you go to work and you're supposed to get $3,000. But you're an agency, so they're going to get an agency $5,000. So now your agency get the $5,000, you pay yourself $3,000, and the $2,000 sit there, and you just keep doing that. The agency, make both the money, make the agency money and be the nurse. Then you can start getting more nurses. Your daughter, your son, go be a nurse. Now the family are all nurses, but the family own the agency. Like I had another friend, and they didn't have no radiologists. I'm telling her, why don't you start an agency for radiologists? They make so much money. When a radiologist don't show up, they got to get somebody. You know how much money that is? But Black Americans don't believe in investing in themselves. They believe in buying stuff and showing out. And Black Americans just like to show out. They don't want the real money. They just want the material things to show somebody that they are accomplishing something. That's the only thing keeping us down. You just want to show what you got. So you got a big old house just sitting there collecting dust. You ain't making no money off this damn big ass building. You go to your house, it's rooms just there. They not being used. But you just like the fact you got all these rooms. They're not even being used. You paying all this money for electricity, all this money for this house. Property taxes robbing you blind. And it's just you and your wife and one child in a big ass house that don't even get used. Just just crazy. Just to look, to feel like you accomplished something. I don't know, it's weird. Now, running a business not easy, but you can't. The idea to open a certain type of business, I don't recommend that. So I don't recommend you want to be a particular type of business first. I recommend you be an entrepreneur, which allows you flexibility. If this market's not doing so well, you know how to get into another business instead of just stuck that this is the business you want to do. That, you need to be an entrepreneur more so than just somebody to just start a business. An entrepreneur is a freer mind space. Entrepreneurs don't care about failures. Entrepreneurs don't care about success. Entrepreneurs is like people that go to the casino. You roll the dice, you crap out, You roll the dice, and you make a little money. You roll the dice, you hit them big. You can't have emotions. You can't want things. You have to want the success of the business, not the. You don't want the money. You want the success. The money comes automatically. So you just chase successful businesses. You don't chase money. And when you do that and eat right and take care of yourself, you could become like when everybody else retire, you could get rich while at the same time they're retiring. They're retiring and you just made 20 million. Seriously. The money's out here, but you just gotta move and they try to stop you from having the investment money. So the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur is they don't want you to get the investment money. And this is how they keep you down. So this is what's going on with black people in loans. They won't give us the business loan. They give it to these people so that they can score. And you got to try to figure out how to get it the hard way because they're not going to give you the loan. They'll give you the loan if you're going to give it away and buy a house or a car. But if you're talking about making some money with the loan, maybe not. You know? They want to know what you want to do with it. Are you going to give it back to the system? Fine, here. Oh, you're going to try to make money? No, you're black. No. Basically. So, entrepreneur, you got to be smart, I'm finna write my first book and have all the retirement money you could dream of. I'll be, one book of rich. Seriously. Just like that. I have more money than people that worked every day until they were 70 with one novel. I'm just saying. So you got to be smart. You got to plan. You got to be smart. You know what I'm saying? You can't panic. One novel. And then that's it. Entrepreneur. You got to be cool, calm, and collected. If you're married, one of you work and the other one start a business. Why is both of y'all going to work? Why both of y'all going to work? Especially if you got a good job, like you're in the medical. Why your wife ain't got no business? Why she just sitting around home digging in her nose? Or why is she going to work and you making all this money as a doctor or a lawyer? And you ain't got no rental apartments or nothing. You just got a big old house. If I got money like that, before I buy a big ass house, I'll buy like a 8-unit building. Me and my wife will live in an apartment. We'll have a 2-bedroom apartment and we'll have 7 for rent. That way we right there to watch our property. And we'll just stack that bread. And before we move in the house, we'll rent out that apartment and go get another 12-unit apartment. And we'll live in a 2-bedroom apartment. I'd rather live in a 2-bedroom apartment with $500,000 in the bank and rent coming in than to live in the house. and ain't got $500,000 in the bank. I don't care about showing you my nice house. And I'm not going to show you my bank account. I don't care about that. It's when you're a hustler. You don't care about what nobody see or nothing. You in it to win it. You're not in it to show off. Why would I live in a big old house when this could be a whole building with tenants? Yeah, I know your wife like, I didn't want to live here. I want our own house with privacy. Here, go shopping so I can have some privacy. Would you? Bye. Okay? Because we can get a divorce. Okay? And you can go get you a house. And we're going to do this my way is my way or the highway. I'm not doing all that goofy stuff where you just want to clown our life away so you can say you got this stuff. House schmoush. You know what I'm saying? A big old piece of junk, basically. I was raised in a house. It's nothing. It's over. It's over. A house ain't worth nothing. If you ain't making no money out of it, a house is a piece of junk. If it ain't making no money, it's junk. It's a big old piece of junk that's depreciating every 4 or 5 years. You don't got nobody to see it. You just want to invite somebody by so they could see it. You ever had a friend get a new house? Boy, they can't wait to invite you. Because if they don't invite you, it's a big old piece of junk unless somebody else see it. But if nobody else see it, it's just a big old piece of trash. Basically, a dust collector. A big old, you walk around. Yeah, man, think of my house. You know what I'm saying? Nobody see it, so you and the neighbors compete to look at each other's grass and stuff and how you all paid it because there ain't nobody else see it. So the neighbors, you buy your car, so the neighbors, you compete with the neighbors. Look at my car, look at his car, because nobody else see it. It's crazy. But look, we almost got 100 people. Let's get started. Tonight we talking about they're going to let dudes with nice cars. Nice cars are cool in a way. Uh, especially if you ain't really had one before. So nice cars is cool to get stuff out your system, in a way. I've had them, but trucks are better. I'd trade any day the nice car that I'm looking at for a van or some type of vehicle could make some money. Because a car don't make no money unless you're smart. Now, when Uber X was out, I knew some friends had a nice car. They was getting rich. They was making a lot of money, but they was using it for a high-end Uber. My daddy had those cars and stuff like that, but my daddy had those cars from depression of growing up in the South and seeing white men with nice cars. And he told me that he always seen the white men go down Alabama with the Roadmaster Buick, and he always wanted the Roadmaster Buick. So early I learned from my father that he was chasing the feeling of being poor and being a black person that didn't have nothing. And That affected my mother and my father coming up in the South and being discriminated against. And so now you're chasing to be somebody. And these clothes and these cars and these houses make you want to be somebody. But when you actually get to the city and you're young like me, and then you look and you see Jeff Bezos got how many Amazon trucks, and you say UPS got how many Amazon trucks, and the Postal Service got how many trucks, and the cab people got how many cars, and you really start looking at the big money. With the big money, there's always vehicles for business. So you start looking at vehicles as vehicles. My daddy couldn't see that, but I seen it because I was an entrepreneur and I had to work concerts. And how do I get all my stuff to the concert? Okay? You understand what I'm saying? I got to get this stuff. I'm making $5,000. I'm gonna make $5,000 this weekend. Okay? So a weekend's coming up. I'm finna make 5 racks. At the least, I'm gonna make 2,500 in 2 days. Now, I can't make the money. I can't sell $5,000 worth of stuff unless I got something that'll hold $5,000 worth of stuff. If I got a car that's only going to hold $2,000 worth of stuff, how much money can I make? So in order for me to sell $10,000 worth of stuff, I got to have a vehicle that can carry $10,000 worth of stuff. So this how I learned this stuff, because I worked for myself and I was getting money. And to get money, I need a truck, a van. A car ain't gonna get it. See me out there selling? You know how much stuff I had? Well, I gotta get that stuff to the location. How am I going to get my product to the location? I need a truck. If I want to get some real money. I'm giving y'all game. You can't get no money with no car. You need a truck if you want to get money. And you can see I was getting plenty of it. You see behind me, rest in peace to Tabby Diamond and Gold to Fry. That's my booth back there. We standing in the way so you can't see how many boxes I got up under there, and you can't see how much stuff is on that table. I probably made $3,500 Saturday and Sunday out at a festival chilling, just getting money at my own. What you got to make, you got to go to work how many days? I go out there 2 days. 3,500, and this is in the 80s. You know how much $3,500 is in the 80s in 2 days? In 2 days? Next week, I'm going to grab another 35, another 4. Now, how am I going to get it there? Why would I want a car when I'm making enough money to buy a brand new car every 2 months, every 3 months? I'm making enough money to buy a brand new car, cash. Now, why would I, you know what I'm saying? The hell I want with a car? I'm giving y'all game before we get to the conversation, but that's what I do for my subscribers. I'll wait on the conversation to help y'all if something come up. We don't have to be stuck over here. We free over here. You see what I'm saying? So this is how I learned that. I learned this as a shorty. I'm in my 20s in these pictures. See? You see all that stuff I got back there? I got strings to hold my shirts down because the wind is blowing. Right? It's so many boxes to your left under there that you wouldn't believe it. And this is early. After about 3 months after this, I had 4 times this amount of merchandise. And if people walk up to you and you got 50 t-shirts, you'll sell a few. If you got 200 t-shirts, you'll sell more. If you got 500 t-shirts, you'll sell even more. So the more merchandise you got, the more you sell, the more reputable you look. So if you come in my booth and I got 2 Bob Marley shirts, a Haile Selassie shirt, a Marcus Garvey shirt, and a reggae shirt, I'll make some money. But if I got 10 Bob Marley shirts, 7 Marcus Garvey shirts, 9 Haile Selassie shirts, Irish shirts, One Love, Lion of Judah, and so forth and so on. I got red, black, and green shoelaces. I got red, gold, and green shoelaces. I got red, black, and green belts. I got red, gold, and green belts. I got plenty of crowns. I got baby t-shirts. I got skirts with Daughter of Zion on there. I got Peter Tosh t-shirt, right? So I got 2 Marcus Garvey t-shirts on the table. You say, man, I like this Marcus Garvey. I go into the box and show you 3 or 4 more. I'm getting money. They buying. Oh, let me get all 3 of these. If it's a Pan-African event, I got a lot of red, black, and green. Marcus Garvey, Mandela. If it's a reggae event, I got a lot of Bob Marley, Haile Selassie. I can change depending on the event. And I got a lot of it. You see them? You see them right behind his head? You see them red, gold, and green shoelaces? I got red, black, and green ones, and I got bags of these. And this what makes them buy from you, because you got a lot. And when you got a lot of merchandise and it's all fits what you had, not a lot of junk. A lot of people would be sad after the event because they had the reggae show, but they got little bears, they got candles. They don't have what fits the business. But I'm at a reggae show and all my stuff is reggae. Why you think the reggae artist is at my booth? I was dressing the stars. Rest in peace to Joseph Hill from Culture. You see he buying my shirt? You see I got the same shirt in silver. The silver one's not for sale. I got to look like a boss. I got to look like the man. You see the leather hats? I was selling the leather hats. I got to look like the king of this here. I'm fresh. Remember the holster wallets that look like gun holster wallets? So every time I come out, I got to be the freshest ever, and I got to have the best stuff out here. Every roster and every reggae person gonna come back from me. Everybody. I'm out selling everybody. That's why I got stabbed, because when I got with a woman, her ex, I was so big, he was jealous. I didn't take her from him. It was just jealous. It was just hate. I didn't know he was hating like that. But I was so big, it was like a step up for her, which I guess to him it was a step down. But you need a vehicle to make the money. And you need a lot of variety. That's why when you go in the Asian store for hair, how much hair he be having in there? A whole lot of hair, right? He don't just have a couple bundles of hair. So you got to have bulk. If I got a candy store and you come in the candy store, if I just got 3 lollipops, I don't make no money. But if I got candy, how much I'm going to make? You go in the mall, you know the candy stores in the mall, they got candy everywhere, right? That's why they make money. You got to have a lot. And to have a lot, you got to have a vehicle so that you can make your money. So a truck is what you want. The black man got to stop buying cars and got to start buying trucks, box trucks, pickup trucks, vans, so he can make some money. He got to stop trying to ride around and be cute. He got to learn how to make some money, basically. And I did it at the highest level known to me. I was really the king of the roster when it comes to selling merchandise. I dressed all your big reggae stars. You see Burning Spear buying a shirt for me? I'm outside gorilla hustling at this one. I got 2 tables outside of a big arena. I probably made about $3,000 with just 2 tables, but the car was full of stuff. So I could go to the car. I would keep my shirts stacked up. So I'd always keep my shirts like this, each one. If it's a Bob Marley shirt, I got 10 of them on the table. They look thick, and I got them folded where only you could just see his pictures. So they'd be like, what are these, towels? I'd be like, nah, open it up. Let me see. If it's a way I could show you. Each shirt was only fold. Watch this. You see this shirt? This is how I would sell this shirt. This shirt had to be sold like this. I'm giving away my hustle, but that's all right. Right? So I would fold this shirt like this. So this shirt would go on my table like this. You know what I'm saying? Only I would have this in the middle. Hold on, let me do it right, because that's not right. I would have that in the middle. So I would sell this shirt like this. So this is how I would sell this shirt. And every shirt would be laid on the table with only the picture showing, right? So this would be laying there, one in front of it. So this is how it would look. If it's a shirt with a face, it would be fold as a rectangle with just a face. If it was wide, it'd be shown with just a face. Wherever the words were, big or small, that's how I would fold it. Right? So if it's a bigger shirt under here, it would be longer. Then I would put them all on the table like a puzzle. So people will walk up and see it, and this will be stacked. It'll be a stack of these. If they're different color, it'll be stacked. Then the next one stacked. Then the next shirt stacked. And they only fold based on the picture. If this picture was big, I would fold it bigger with the whole picture showing. That's it. So people would come up and say, what is this? Towels? And then I would be like, nah, wow. Ah, that's nice, right? Then when they would leave, I would throw it under the table because I got 7 of them. And then when I would get a break, I'd fold them back and put them all back when nobody's coming. And I would have High Selassie, Bob, you name it. You name it, I got it. Kids' shirts, ladies' dresses. You see what I'm saying? So. So I can go to a vegan event. When I go to a vegan event next year, I'm going to shut it down. It's going to be over because I'm going to have health is wealth, eat to live. I'm going to have, you know what I'm saying? Health is wealth, so take care of yourself. I'm going to have a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? ITAL, plant-based, whole foods, no meat. You know, I'm going to have like, you know what I'm saying? And I got the 420, I got the ganja booth, I got the reggae booth, Pay Black Americans, I got that popping, same thing. Every business, I do it all the same way. I have that whole business covered. Like my reparation stuff that I'm finna drop this winter, crazy. It's going to be all the same way. Like, so that's why I say I got a lot of businesses. And I use the same formula for vegan, for reparations, for whatever. I got the Pharaoh Said That line coming out, the Vegan Intel line coming out, the Pay Black American line coming out. I still got the ganja, boxes with the ganja. And you just get money. But you need a truck. You need a truck. You can't sell what you don't have. You need a van. With a van, you can make a lot of money. You can even rent it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got a band, you got to do a show. I'll pick you up, take you to the show and pick you up when it's over. Take all your equipment. I'll charge you the haul, whatever. And then you got the van. So now if you got the van or you got the box truck, you can have 5 different businesses. Park the cars out in the front, leave the garage, put those big chairs. You know those fancy chairs people take pictures in? I know a dude, he got his whole garage full of them chairs, and he rents those chairs out. He'll take 2 of them to your house if your child is graduating or having some kind of party. He rent them out. Then he got folding chairs. He got folding tables. He'll bring them, give them to you. You set them up. When you get through, you close them. He come pick them up. He don't got to set them up or nothing. He got half his garage is full of folding tables and chairs. The man getting paid just dropping off folding tables and chairs to people having events. He rent tables and chairs. But he got a truck and he got a step van and he's getting rich. He's got a box truck. He has a box truck and he has a van. And he drops off stuff on Saturday morning or Friday night and he picks it all up Sunday. Free money. Free money. I got another friend, he rent cars. He buy luxury cars, he rent them out. You know, he got Benzes, Lexus, he's got all the top cars. He rent them out. He driving just a Ford, just a old used, he driving a used Ford. He driving a used Ford with all them luxury cars in his backyard. I said, why you don't get one? He said, Pharaoh, don't make no sense for me to buy a nice car. I ain't gonna do nothing but rent it out. I said, you greedy as hell. He said, Pharaoh, that's why I got that one right there. That one was mad. And somebody came to rent some cars and asked me how much to rent that one. I cleaned them out, let him rent that. So I just kept renting and when it got this used Ford. So he said, bro, it don't make no sense for me to buy no nice car. I want money, Pharaoh. I don't want no nice car. I don't want no nice car, bro. I want money. He said, man, It don't make no sense for me to buy no car for me. I'm going to rent it out. He said his wife don't care because she get to drive them other ones. She want to go to the store. I say, take one of them in the back and go if you want to look fancy. But I ain't buying you one. His wife cool with it because she'd rather drive 5 or 6 fancy cars than own just one. She's stunting. But she don't own them. And they under the company name and stuff. So anything happen, the insurance and all that's covered. It's all under, you know what I'm saying? All type of write-offs and all type of stuff, man. So look, let's get to the conversation. They talking about giving us our gun rights back. Now, I need my gun rights back because I don't got no gun rights because of felonies. But what they're saying is, they're saying that if you don't have any violent crimes, they're going to reinstate your gun rights. And this was like in about a week or two. This is soon. So if you brothers and sisters out there, if you lost your gun rights, it's finna go down. And I think they ain't charging number like $50, $50 or $100 to reinstate your gun rights. Real talk. Real talk. I kid you not. So I finally get my gun rights. I cannot wait to get my gun collection back up. Justice Department preparing to accept application to restore firearms rights of non-violent felons, which is me. Last March, the U.S. Department of Justice, DOJ, began the process of implementing rules and procedures to restore the firearms rights of convicted felons and other persons prohibited under federal law from possessing firearms and ammunition. Pursuant to the 1968 Gun Control Act, persons convicted of felonies and misdemeanors punishable by more than 2 years of confinement are federally prohibited from possessing firearms and ammunition. Other provisions of federal law prohibit firearm possession by certain persons, including persons involuntarily committed to a mental institution or who have been convicted of a crime of domestic violence. A provision of the GCA, however, allows the Attorney General to restore a person's gun rights upon a finding that a person would not be a danger to public safety and restoration would be in the public's interest. The responsibility for implementing this provision was previously delegated to the ATF. Since 1992, however, Congress had prevented ATF from spending funds to implement this provision, with the result that ATF could not process restoration petitions. In March of this year, Attorney General Bondi removed ATF's responsibility under the GCA provision and transferred it back to the DOJ. Yeah, well, it will be implemented by Pardon Attorney Ed Martin. On July 21st, 2025, DOJ proposed rules to implement the restoration program and will be accepting comments of the proposed rules through October 2025, right? So that's next month. Absent or extraordinary circumstances, DOJ proposes to deny restoration to persons required to register as SEX offenders and persons convicted of violent or serious felonies, including homicide, kidnapping, SEX assault, intimidate, partner violence, burglary, robbery, assault, terrorism, and witness tampering. Felonies and violations most provisions of the Gun Control Act or involving the same of firearms or explosive would be presumptively result in will also presumptively result in a denial. DOJ proposes waiting periods for certain class of offenses. Persons convicted of trafficking offenses will be subject to a presumptive waiting period of 10 years from the date of completion of sentence or the end of supervised release or probation. The 10-year period would also apply to persons convicted of misdemeanor crime of domestic violence. For other felonies, a 5-year presumptive waiting period would apply, calculated from completion of sentence or end of supervised release or probation. Persons currently serving a sentence or on supervised release or probation will presumptively be denied. So basically, I get my gun rights restored because I ain't been in no trouble in years, and then my cases wasn't violent, and all my cases been sealed. All my cases have been closed down. So I paid for all my cases to be taken care of. So it's going to be a cakewalk. As soon as I apply, they're going to be, yeah, I had no violent cases. I basically just had some weak felonies, basically. I had felonies for possession of guns, but nothing with the guns. So I basically got my felonies because they didn't have gun laws in Chicago. To be honest with you, I got my gun cases because it was illegal to own a pistol in Chicago. You couldn't own one. Now you can own one in the suburbs. So I lived in the suburbs where me and my wife at the time, we went and bought guns from the gun store. But as soon as I drive across and come to Chicago, as soon as I cross 127th Street, now I'm illegal. Wait a minute, how am I illegal in Illinois on this side of 127th Street, but on this side of 127th Street, how am I illegal? So really, they violated my rights anyway, and a lot of Chicagoans. It was illegal to own a pistol in Chicago. You can only own a rifle. But all over Illinois, everybody else could own a pistol except Chicago residents. Now, what that sound like? Sound like a lawsuit, to be honest with you. So now they overturned that, but we already got the convictions. See what I'm saying? When they overturned that, they should have automatically overturned our convictions. I'm arrested for a gun that's under the seat of the car. All kind of nonsense, like guns that ain't even being used. They just in the car. What? No crime being committed. Now, come on now. So they're going to be like, oh, hell yeah, get this man. We never should have took your gun rights in the first place. They never should have took my gun rights in the first place. So I have my gun rights back. I'm going to start another channel just about guns when I get my gun rights back because I'm like a gun aficionado. So when I get my gun rights back, I'm going to have another channel shooting at the range, shooting out at the outdoor range, the indoor range, showing all different types of guns, how to operate them, what they do, what's the best gun to get. For ladies, I'm just going to be going into depth about that. So I'm looking forward to my show. And the gun show, I probably just do once or twice a week. Maybe just once a week I'll do an episode on that channel. Because I got so many channels I'm going to be working on. But I'm real excited about getting my gun rights back so I can go get my concealed carry and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be great. Because I've been in a situation where the queens, I have a gun, but I'm not supposed to be around, even around a gun. It's just a total violation of your rights. We're not around a gun for what? I've got no violent crimes. All my gun cases was guns just in a car. No crime, no robbery, no burglary, no violence. Just the fact that I was a Chicago citizen with a gun, basically. And then you get a felony, and now you can't get a gun, but your felony is trash. So the law that stops you from getting a gun is trash. And that's a lot of Americans got felonies and stuff that ain't no criminals, ain't done nothing. I'm telling you, you'll be surprised how many felons ain't criminal, ain't violent, ain't done nothing. They just a victim of a weird law. Basically, you could just be a victim of a weird, like the laws, the 420 laws. Now you got dispensaries. But many of us, how many times we was arrested for a little bit of herb? Tell me that's fair. So many people have been prosecuted for a little bit of herb, and now people are becoming millionaires with the same thing. And they never came back to all the people they arrested for to say, our bad, y'all. We should have been the first people given dispensaries. The first people they should have contacted to find out if you want dispensaries are the people that was selling it when it was illegal. That would have only been the right thing to do. No. It's racism. I ain't even get into who they gave all the licenses to. Who they arrested the most. They arrested this race and gave the license to this race. That's a fact. That's what they did. Because the cops don't pull over the other people. They just pull us over. So when they pull us over, they find us with stuff. My boy, Uncle Mike, he could ride around with a whole bunch of stuff. They never pull him over. I used to tell him, I was like, bruh, one time he came to the hood and he picked up a bunch of us and said, Mike, you can't ride around with all this stuff in this car with us in this car. Because they definitely going to pull you over now if they see us in the car. He didn't understand what I was telling him. I said, bro, you can't come over here down on the south side in the hood with all this stuff in the car. Because as soon as they see you with us in the car, you're going to be an in lover. And they're going to pull you over. And they're not going to like the fact you with us. So they're going to slam you for sure. Because they're going to say you an in lover. So that's what's going on. I just wanted to let y'all know that that's what's going on. They're about to restore these gun rights, right? Gun rights for convicted felons. The DOJ says it's time. It's more than a administrative reopening of a long dormant issue. It's a test of how the law reconciles the right to bear arms with protecting the public. So as you can see, it's real. Some U.S. convicted felons may soon have their gun rights restored if the Trump administration can convince Congress it's a constitutional corrective. This was just posted the other day, last week, right? The U.S. Department of Justice is working to revive a long dormant process allowing certain individuals with felony convictions and other federal firearm prohibitions to petition for the restoration of their gun rights. Now, the reason this is happening, let's break that down. Countries like Russia and China did studies on invading the U.S., right? They did the whole layout of the military, how they would invade, how many troops they would send, and all of that. And they came up with the conclusion that it would be impossible to invade the U.S. And the reason they came with that conclusion, because they said, even if they bypassed all the military, once they set foot in America, the American citizens got too many guns. And they would get wiped out. That's a fact. The China and Russia know if they invade the U.S., they ain't got to just worry about the military. They got to worry about the citizens. See, this got a lot to do with why Trump ain't going to send no National Guard to Chicago. This is why I keep trying to tell y'all. The National Guard is no match for Chicago citizens. Chicago citizens is packing heavy. You understand? You will not be able to send enough National Guards to just go at just the Black Americans alone. They would be no match. It don't matter how much military experience you got. More guns always win. And the American citizen got a lot of guns. The American citizens are an army in themselves. This is a fact. The American citizens is the most armed citizens in the world. The American citizens toe-to-toe could beat all these countries, the citizens. That's a fact. So they want to arm the citizens because things is funny with China. Things is funny with Russia. Things is funny with Islamic terrorists. And they want to make sure that the American citizens is ready to help the country. I'm telling you. They're like, we got to arm these citizens because people are playing with us. Our citizens need to be armed, because if they ain't armed, that's an extra more help for the government. So the United States citizens going to be packing heavy, and gun violence not going to go up; it's going to go down. Because ain't nobody going to shoot nobody if they going to get shot back. Gun violence is up because certain people got guns and other ones don't. But when they do this, everybody going to have a gun. And that's going to be the great equalizer. That was the original idea when the country was founded. Reverend Tim, you're always on point, my brother. It's always good to see you. You're one of the smartest men in the U.S. Ain't no doubt about that. So that's what's going to go on. That's going to be great. That's going to be a great thing. That's going to help crime a lot, because many of us, we will make citizens arrest if we see you out here violating a woman, all out of pocket, trying to kidnap a child. You ain't going to make it 2 feet, okay? And if they find out that we got at you because you was out of line, we not going to be charged. As long as we was standing up for the citizens, and as long as we was righteous, as long as we was protecting somebody, we going to be good to go. Because we should be allowed to protect people. We should be allowed to take care of ourselves before the police get there. And we should be allowed to help the country defend itself if somebody try to invade this bad boy. Because one thing is, we riding with the U.S. 100%. I had a brother try to question me because I was riding with the U.S. I told him, boy, you always ride where you live at. That's where I live at. I live in the U.S. He like, bro, we Africans. I said, listen, man, I got 6 children, a bunch of grandchildren. They ain't going to Africa, okay? He said, man, I ain't think about that. Well, think about it. Even if I decide I want to go to Africa, that don't mean my wife gonna want to go. That don't mean my children gonna want to go. That don't mean my children, baby mama gonna go. That don't mean my grandchildren gonna want to go. That's make believe. Some make believe stuff. You talking about leaving your family and going to Africa. That's what you talking about when you talking about going back to Africa. You talking about leaving your mama, your daddy, your auntie, your uncles, all your cousins, leave your whole family so you can go in Africa and live around some other people that's around all their family. And you didn't left your family in the U.S. You don't think about that part. So that's going to be a good thing. That's going to be going down in a couple of weeks. And I'm going to be one of the first people to send in my application. Because this month is as good as over almost, to be honest with you. We only got a half a month left. And they said it's supposed to be happening this month, if I'm not mistaken. So that's happening within a couple of weeks or something. Let me see. I could have sworn it said September. No, October. Through October. So sometime in October. So that's like next month. So all that's going down next month. And that's going to be great. Like I'm going to be paying attention at the end of September 21st. I'm going to be paying attention because I'm getting my paperwork in early and get my gun rights restored. Now I got at least 5 guns I need immediately. For sure. I need me a Walther PPK, my favorite gun. I need a chrome one or nickel plated Walther PPK. I need a 45 Glock. I need a Mossberg pistol grip pump. And then I got to see about the other two. What's going to be the best semi-automatic, like uh, short rifle type gun. I don't know what the newest stuff is no more. I meant to check on those. I don't know who got the best one. So I'll be checking on those. The short one. I need the long gun and I need the short one. I don't know who got the best one. AR-15, maybe. Yeah, that's the long one. The AR-15 long one. That might be it, but they got so much new stuff. But I'm more worried about the short one. I ain't too much worried about the long one, because the long ones, those is cool, but I like the shorter ones. I like the short. I need the short one first. The AR would be way down the list. That would be the last one I would buy is a long one like that. Now the AR-15 pistol with the stock thing on it, I might get that, but I got to see what Illinois gonna let me have. You know what I'm saying? So I got to see what they'll let me have. You know what I'm saying? I need like the short, machine gun type. It don't have to be fully automatic, but I just want that size. It's more tactical. You know what I'm saying? I could hit the corner of a building without the barrel sticking out, stuff like that. You know, you got one of them big old guns and I got a short gun, you're gonna lose. You know? You got that long ass thing. I got the element of surprise. So I gotta see what's going on. You know, the PMX is nice. The PMX is nice. It's a bunch. I be watching videos to see because I want the new. I want whatever's new. I want the new. You know what I mean? Whatever's the new. I don't want that real long thing though. I don't want that. Not at first. The Uzi. I don't know. They used to jam, so I don't know about that. They used to jam, so I got to find out who ain't jamming and stuff like that. They got so much new stuff out here. I ain't been paying no attention. I might get an FN. I might get an FN. I definitely gonna get an FN pistol because I like the cartridge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get it online because it's cheaper. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely cheaper. But if they give me the gun rights back, I could drive and get it. So if they give me my gun rights, I'm on my way to Tennessee, boy. I'm on my way to Alabama. Me and my cousin gonna get in the car and we gonna go to the big gun spots. Yeah, we gonna go. Yeah, we gonna go Tennessee, Kentucky to the big gun spots where they got all the guns and they got all the dealers in one location. They be having these big old spots. All the dealers show up. You're gonna save a fortune. You get to test them out and all of that. You know what I'm saying? The Draco might get in there. Yeah, like they have state like they got whole places where you can get guns, right? Yeah, I ain't gonna do no online. I gotta go buy my shit. I ain't doing no online. I gotta go to the big gun outlets and buy mine. You know what I'm saying? My cousin know where to go. He a gun fanatic. But I gotta go where they have they have places where people that sell them illegally, they go to those places. And you go to those places, and now you can get them legal. And it's not a gun store, it's like a swap meet for guns, right? So it's like a swap meet for guns. And that's why I'm trying to go. Well, I'm gonna get the real cheap deal because that's where the dudes would go get them, and that's where they would sell them from. You know what I'm saying? They would go get them, they would bring them back, and then they would sell them here, and then people would sell them. You could just make, you know what I'm saying? Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky. That's where they at. That's where they. That's where the runners. That's where the gun runners. That's where they go get them at. Like on a Sunday, all the dudes will shut down their gun stores, and they'll all bring their guns to this big location where they rent booths, and they selling guns. They don't even sell at their store. That's where you want to go. That's where the illegal sellers get them from. They don't get them from no store. They get them from these big auction type situations. They be cheap. Yeah, all I need is ID and cash. 30 seconds. Yep. Yep. South Carolina. South Carolina. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we might go there. We're gonna look it up. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. My cousin, no. But he legal. I'm the one that's not legal. He been trying to get me to go to the range with him. I said, bro, I ain't going no range to get no pictures with no guns. I can't be around no guns, bro. I'm not a little boosie. Boy, let the law change. And this is crazy because this is going on next month. And the last week of this month, I was gonna go downtown and petition and go set up to see a judge to get my gun rights back. And boom, look, I'm finna get them without doing all that. But yeah, I want to go to one of these places like this armory he talking about. They got some nice ones all over the country, man. They got some spots. They got some spots. You would be surprised some of the pistols that you could get what they'll cost you. You wouldn't believe it's that cheap. So dudes go in there and buy like 100 of them, and then come up here and sell them for double, and then people buy them and then sell them for triple. And you can make a $250,000 in just a few months buying and selling guns. But you'd be stupid to do that stuff if you're a felon, because they're gonna lock you up and throw the key away. And sometimes they give you a year for every bullet. I got a friend, he got 20 right off the top and a year for every bullet. They gave him a year for every bullet. No, he did 15. I think they gave him, I think it's 15 is the charge. They gave him 15 and a year for every bullet. They not playing if you're a felon. In Illinois and you're a felon, if they're gonna lock you up and throw the key away. So if you know somebody that's a felon and if they ain't got no violent crimes, let them know they can get their gun rights restored. That's a beautiful thing. But you know, you got to keep your head. You can't be pulling guns on people. One thing you don't want to do, you don't want to be getting yourself in no hype situation. You got to walk away and go about your business. You can't be pushing the line every time something happens. Go, let it go. Sometimes, even if somebody punch you, it's best to leave rather than do something going to get you a life sentence. Seriously. You always got to think about, in the end, do you lose? You don't be thinking about winning in the beginning or in the middle. At the end, though, did you lose? Because no matter what you did to somebody, if you get sent to prison, you lost. Whatever competition you was in, you lost. So if it's not a matter of your life or theirs, you need to brush stuff off. Straight up. That's why I don't do confrontations, man. Because I'm not getting ready to go in there and see the state's attorney and the district attorney. I'm not going in there looking at them judges and all that because I'm dealing with some fool. I'm finna leave. I'm not doing no confrontations. Facts. Unless my life is in danger, but just because you running your mouth or you woo woo woo, bro, I'm finna leave. I'm gone. You go ahead and woo 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 all you want. I'm gone. Because if you've been in them courtrooms and you see how many months and years them courtrooms take off your life, there ain't no way. And that's without prison. Just court take months and years off your life. That's a fact. I don't know. They don't control me. You know what I'm saying? Too bad they can't control the weather. So yeah, they control you. They don't control me. I don't know what you're talking about. They can't even control their own destiny. Yeah, you know, I don't do weirdo stuff. What's your point? What is you talking about? Because you look like you trolling. Yeah, listen, I tell you what, you go on your page and you do that, okay? Come back tomorrow. Yeah, go on your page and do all that you want to do, okay? Nobody's stopping you. Yeah, ain't nobody stopping you. Go have a ball. I don't know why you're trying to get me to do it. Go get you a page and do it. Get your YouTube page and talk all that crazy stuff you want to talk. So that's what's up with that. I just want to let y'all know, get ready to get your gun rights back. If you lost your gun rights, be ready to stand on your square and keep your eye open, although I will be updating when it get close. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be rolling with the Second Amendment, and that's going to be a beautiful thing. The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution protects an individual's right to keep and bear arms for traditionally lawful purposes, such as self-defense, and does not prevent the government from enacting reasonable gun regulations. While historically tied to the concept of citizens' militia, the Supreme Court affirmed in District of Columbia versus Heller that the right applies to individuals, not just those in militia service. So that's what's up. Boy, we about to get our gun rights back. Everybody that's got weak felonies. And that's going to be a beautiful thing. So look, y'all, thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody. Make sure you support the channel. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Super Chat. Well, the Super Chat's not up yet. It's going to be a couple more weeks, a week or whatever. But that's what we're doing. Y'all keep your eyes open. Stay out of trouble. Don't get emotional over the recent shooting. Stay out of that discussion. Don't be on social media getting emotional over stuff like that. Take care of your health. Eat right. Take care of your family and stay in your zone. And don't let social media trick you out your square and start talking about stuff that's going to make the feds start watching you. You don't want that problem. So calm down some of the wild stuff and just be a regular citizen. Don't be over whooping, talking about all type of crazy stuff and get them eyeballs on you, because you don't want them eyeballs on you. Trust me what I'm telling you. Know what I'm saying? So look, you know how it is, and you know what we do. We always keep it real. Victory.